Episode 1 opens in the rain as Ser Duncan the Tall stands alone on a hillside, the weather beating down as he digs a grave by hand. 3 horses watch quietly nearby: Thunder, the warhorse, Chestnut, an old sway-backed stot, and Sweetfoot, the palfrey used for comfortable, easy riding. Their presence the only sign that Dunk is not entirely alone. He is burying his former master, Ser Arlan of Pennytree, the man who raised him, trained him, and gave him the only life he has ever known. There is no ceremony nor witnesses, just mud, rain, and a young man trying to do right by the dead. When the grave is finished, Dunk takes up Ser Arlan's sword, and with it comes responsibility. Dunk carries with him a simple but dangerous dream: to live as a true knight, one defined by honor rather than reputation. In Westeros, that kind of ambition is rarely rewarded. With his master laid to rest, Dunk sets his sights on Ashford Meadow. A tourney is being held there, and he claims what little he has left, Arlan's sword, shield, and horses, as his own. It's a quiet inheritance, one that rests entirely on Dunk's belief that he is worthy of it. Before reaching Ashford, Dunk stops at a small roadside inn. The place is nearly empty, its usual patrons drawn away by the nearby tournament. The tavern feels tired and still, broken only by the presence of a single man. After paying for a room with a coin stamped with the Targaryen dragon, the stranger heads upstairs, leaving Dunk alone with his thoughts. Outside, the world is already shifting towards spectacle and violence. Inside, everything remains subdued. As Dunk prepares to leave for Ashford that night, his plans are interrupted by a boy, bald, sharp-tongued, and entirely unafraid of him. The boy calls himself Egg. Dunk catches him trying to ride one of his horses, Thunder, and the exchange that follows is playful but telling. Egg is quick with his words, curious to a fault, and far more confident than a common boy has any right to be. Dunk, for his part, speaks openly about his hopes, about knighthood, honor, and the kind of man he wants to become. For now, Dunk sends the boy away. He mounts his horse and heads back onto the road alone, unaware that this brief encounter is far from over, and that the path he's chosen is already beginning to narrow. When Dunk finally reaches Ashford Meadow, the world he's been riding toward comes into full view. The tournament is already taking shape, and with it comes the first real test of Dunk's resolve. He presents himself to the master of games, Plumber, and asks to be entered into the lists. When questioned about his knighthood, Dunk tells a story, that Ser Arlan of Pennytree knighted him before his death. It's a lie, a small one, born of necessity rather than pride. The truth soon becomes clear. Ser Arlan never formally made Dunk a knight, and without a living witness to speak on his behalf, Dunk's claim carries little weight. In Westeros, honor may matter, but proof matters more. Even if Dunk were somehow accepted as a knight, the risks don't end there. Tournament law is unforgiving. Should he lose, he would be required to surrender his arms, his armor, and his horse to the victor. Dunk has no silver to spare, no lord to ransom him, and no way to buy back what he would lose. Entering the lists is a gamble, and Dunk is wagering everything he owns on the hope that he can win. Still, hope is all he has. Without a witness, Dunk is told he must find someone at the tournament willing to vouch for him. That leaves him searching through the camps and pavilions for a familiar name, Sergeant Manfred Dondarrion. Arlan once fought beside Manfred's father, and Dunk clings to the idea that this old connection might be enough to earn him entry. It isn't easy. When Dunk finally reaches Manfred's tent, he finds the knight asleep, unreachable, and uninterested in being disturbed. With no audience, no backing, and no certainty, Dunk walks away muttering to himself, already on the back foot, already feeling the weight of a world that refuses to bend for good intentions. And for the first time since burying his master, Dunk is forced to confront the possibility that belief alone may not be enough. As Dunk wanders the tournament grounds, he stumbles straight into 2 men who will quickly become important: Sir Stephen Fossoway and his cousin, Raymond Fossoway. The 2 are already sparring when Dunk arrives, trading blows and laughter in equal measure. There's an easy familiarity between them, the kind that comes from confidence and noble birth. Dunk is invited to join in, but he refuses. Right now, he has little appetite for proving himself to strangers, especially when his own footing feels so uncertain. An uncertainty seems to follow him. Things don't improve as the night wears on. A series of awkward encounters only leaves Dunk more frustrated and out of place. Eventually, Raymond Fossoway catches up with him. This time, his tone is different. He apologizes for earlier, for trying to push Dunk into sparring with Stefan, and extends an invitation instead. Dunk is invited to drink and feast in the tent of House Baratheon. Inside, the mood couldn't be more different. Ser Lyonel Baratheon, known to all as the Laughing Storm, commands the space with sheer presence. The tent is alive with music, drink, and movement as knights and companions gather on the eve of the tournament. Dunk, unsurprisingly, stands out. He doesn't belong here, not in dress, not in manner, not in confidence. He's brought no gift, no offering, nothing to present himself properly. But when Lyonel asks what he's doing there, Dunk answers honestly. He's come for supper. Instead of offense, the answer earns laughter. A dance, a drink, and Lyonel's booming good humor quickly shift the mood. Dunk's openness, once again, works in his favor. As the night goes on and the wine flows freely, the bond between them grows easier. They're not gentler. Lyonel eventually speaks plainly, telling Dunk what no one else has bothered to say outright. He's out of his depth, and he stands no real chance of winning the tournament. Later that night, Dunk finally manages to track down Sir Manfred Dondarrion. The knight is in high spirits, a woman on each arm, and in no mood for old stories. When Dunk mentions Ser Arlan of Pennytree, Manfred dismisses the name entirely, claiming he doesn't remember him at all, as his father had over 800 men. With that, another door quietly closes, and Dunk is left standing once more on the outside, still searching for someone, anyone, willing to stand beside him. Thoroughly defeated, Dunk makes his way back to camp, carrying the weight of a long day and even longer disappointments. When he arrives, he finds someone waiting for him. Egg. The boy has followed him all the way to Ashford Meadow, riding in on the back of a lamb cart. In Dunk's absence, he's made himself useful, starting a small fire, washing Dunk's clothes, and settling in as if he belongs there. It's presumptuous, bold, and strangely endearing. At first, Dunk resists. He knows better than to take on responsibility he can't afford. But eventually, he gives in. He speaks plainly, laying out exactly what life as a squire will mean. There will be no comforts, no promises of glory, only work, hardship, and uncertainty. Egg listens. Dunk tells him he can't offer much, only that he won't let the boy go hungry. For Egg, that's enough. Dunk allows him to stay. Later, the two lie beneath the open sky, the noise of the tournament camp fading into the night. As they watch the stars, Egg points upward, drawing Dunk's attention to a shooting star streaking across the darkness. He speaks with quiet certainty, insisting that luck, real luck, belongs only to them. For the first time in days, Dunk doesn't argue. And in that still moment, something shifts. What began as chance now feels like the beginning of a partnership, one neither of them fully understands yet. Episode 1 closes quietly, but with purpose. Two travelers share a fire beneath the stars, bound not by titles or blood, but by circumstance, and a fragile belief that the road ahead might offer more than the one behind them. It's a small ending, fitting for a story that's more interested in people than spectacle. And as the episode ends, the stakes begin to rise. If you enjoyed this slower, character-driven journey through A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll be covering each episode as the story unfolds, breaking down the events, the characters, and the moments that often slip by unnoticed. Until next time.